Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is something that not a lot of people think about, okay? And that's rental cars, car sharing like Uber, stuff like that, okay? And this goes along with prepping. Why? Because if you're in the market for buying a new car, or if you're going on vacation and you have to rent a car, or card sharing, which is also a part of, renting a car. It's just renting a car from a private entity instead of going through like Enterprise or Hertz. Okay. A person who rents their car out via card sharing company like Turo, which is Turo, they report that a customer actually sold his car on Craigslist in a remarkable story of attempting fraud. Now, this is a way where people can actually make money on the side, okay? Instead of doing like Uber or Lyft, people actually rent their cars out. And, you have to have special like car insurance and stuff like that. But it is a really good way to make some decent money, especially, if you're like, out of a job and stuff like that. This can actually bring in some really decent money for you. Okay. I do actually know people who do this, and this is a really decent living. It really truly is. So this incident was laid out by a content creator on TikTok, and this actually blew my mind. And with the people that I know that actually do this, I showed this to them and they're like, oh my God, how can we protect ourselves? Well, you just really have to make sure that you dot every I, cross every T, especially when it comes to your car insurance. And, this is just not something that is preventable, because I don't know if you can actually do like background checks on the people that you are renting your car to, because you're not Hertz, you're not Enterprise, right? So in this video that I'm going to be showing you, this man details what actually happened. He goes straight to the top of his list of craziest things that has happened to him as a rental car owner. Okay, take a listen.
This goes straight to the top of my list of craziest things that's happened to me as a rental car owner. So we had somebody who wanted to book our Chevy Suburban offline for 2 days. We did our normal remote check-in process and they came to get the car on Wednesday morning. She was due back on Friday morning, but she called on Thursday night saying she wanted 2 more days. So I sent her an extension request, but she never paid for the extension. So on Friday night when she was past due, I shut down the car. The crazy thing is that she never even called about it. And she wouldn't answer her phone when we called her. And I got a notification saying that the tracker was disconnected. But since we knew where it was at, we tried to drive over there to see if we could take it back. We got to it, the tire was off and it was in somebody's driveway. It was an older lady who owned the house and she was the one who rented from us, so I asked her, did she know the person? I'm gonna just imitate what she said to me. Are you serious? She didn't know that car was a rental because she actually bought it from the lady who rented it from us. This lady sold our car on Craigslist for $18,000 in cash. 2019 Chevy Suburban at that. Like for part 2.
Now, apparently, he actually put a device on his car that he was actually able to shut the car down. That's the interesting part. I never knew that there was a device. This would actually be something that I think would be worth having, especially if you live, in a high crime area, even if you don't, because living in a high crime area or not, your car can still get stolen. So why not have a device on your car that you can actually shut down your vehicle when it's stolen? Then it's worthless to them. So he actually shut down the car, and it was through GPS tracking that he was able to locate his car, and he found it with a tire off in somebody's driveway with the tracker disconnected. So the person who rented this car disconnected the tracker, sold it to somebody else on Craigslist for $18,000. How is this even possible? Who thinks like this? Well, I guess, obviously criminals think like this, but it was an older lady who answered the door when he went and knocked on the door, and she wasn't the only one, who rented from this person. And it's just, the woman who was in possession of the car was like shocked, and she's like, she didn't know the car was actually a rental because she bought it from the lady who rented the car from this guy. And it's like, this is mind-blowing. So, this man who's trying to make an honest living, like we all are, literally had fraud committed against him. It's amazing. And he bought the poor woman who bought this rented stolen car, bought it for 18 grand. So imagine that. So now she's out $18,000 and out of a car. It's just, you know what I mean? So here's a follow-up video and see what he has to say now.
Here's part 2 of the car that got stolen and sold. Just for a quick recap, somebody had rented our Chevy Suburban and then they ended up selling it to somebody else. They ended up selling it for $18,000 on Craigslist. And the crazier part is that the lady who bought it actually borrowed the money from one of her friends. But that's not even the end of the story. The renter had also made a fake title and bill of sale for the purchase. The police even said they thought it was a real title when we filed the police report. But now let me show you how we handled this. First thing we did is use our GPS tracker to see every single place that lady went to while she had the car. One of the stops she made was to an auto sales shop. This is probably where she got the fake title and bill of sale created. And on top of that, our security cameras caught her when she was picking up our car. We gave all the evidence to the police, and a few weeks later, she actually got arrested. But it was because she was doing the same thing again with somebody else's car. So now our car is back on the road making more money again. But I don't know if that lady got her money back. For those who asked, the tire was off when we got to her house because they were trying to check out the starter to figure out why the car wasn't starting. Shout out to our Advantage GPS trackers because they made this entire process way easier. That's why you should never get caught without a GPS tracker. So get you one using the link in my bio and follow me for more tips.
In my honest opinion, and I'm just being honest here, I'm surprised that Craigslist is still active with all the shady shiteness that goes on that website. No kidding. I will never forget, I had bought a Jeep off of Craigslist. And I thought, wow, I'm getting a great deal. I spent $1,700 on this Jeep. Lo and behold, a week later, this thing was literally, everything was just popping off, breaking. I'm like, oh my God. And I'll never forget, my husband had to keep changing the light bulbs in like the taillights, the headlights, the blinkers, the this, the that. And I'll never forget, one night we're driving down the street and we're heading, oh God, we were going to a store, and it was at night, and I'm getting pulled over and I'm like, what the heck? Like, what now? So a trooper pulls me over and he's just like, do you realize why I'm pulling you over? And I'm like, no. And he goes, your taillights are out. And I'm like, both of them? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, lesson learned, never buy a car off of Craigslist. He laughed so hard, he goes, go. He would not stop laughing because of what I said. Lesson learned, never buy a car off of Craigslist. True story. And he's just like, just go. But that's just me. That's just my luck, because I have luck for shite. I really do. It's terrible. But so, honestly, seriously, this is just a lesson learned for all of us. If you are looking to buy a car, if you are renting a car, or if you have a side business like renting out your own vehicles or whatever the case may be, just be careful, because you just never know. Okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.